Hello. What's up again? It's your boy Kendel here with the Talks with Ken podcast. Thanks for coming back. I know I just dropped an episode on Friday. Uh, but I wanted to do like a short chat with y'all real quick about some things that I really wanted to talk about in the last podcast, but by the time I recorded the podcast, the things I wanted to talk about didn't happen yet. Um, yeah, so I'm gonna keep it short and sweet. This episode is gonna be about the Derek Chauvin trial. Um, yeah, this is gonna be a heavy episode. It's not a heavy episode, but like it's gonna be a heavy felt episode. Okay, I might as well just dive right into it. Um, so the Derek Chauvin trial happened, and for those who are unfamiliar, I don't know how you could be unfamiliar because it's been going on for a year now. But last year, black man George Floyd was murdered by the police officer Derek Chauvin. He kneeled on his neck for about, I don't know the exact time, but it was about 9 minutes and some change, and it sparked the whole movement because within that same year last year, Breonna Taylor had passed away, and us black people were just tired of it. Like we weren't standing for it anymore. Like we weren't standing for it before, but it's like that just like lit the fire, and we're like, okay, they obviously don't care about us, and they feel like they can treat us anyway, so we're gonna do what we had to do. So a year later, the trial happens. Chauvin's in court. People are giving their testimonies and stuff like that. I didn't personally watch the trial too much because I have this preconceived idea in my head that Chauvin was going to be let off. Like, I know that sucks to think, but it happens so many times. Like, we never see accountability. So, I'm like, I don't even want to watch it at this point because I know it's just going to make me mad seeing him just walk free. Like, we have clear video evidence right here what happened, and nothing usually happens. So I decided not to watch until the last day when the actual verdict came out. I was like, you know what? Just for giggles, I'll come and watch. And accountability happened. Derek Chauvin was convicted of 3 charges. I believe they were like 2 murder charges and 1 manslaughter charge or something like that. And it felt great. It felt great to see accountability finally happen. However, it was weird because we're getting excited to see what should usually happen, if that makes sense. Um, when you kill someone, you go to jail. Derek Chauvin killed George Floyd. He murdered that man. And there shouldn't have been any reason in the world whatsoever that I felt like he wasn't going to go to jail. And I think that's the problem in America that black people have with this country. Like, all these bad things happen to us and nobody gets held accountable. And we finally see accountability happen, and it's great for the moment until we realize we shouldn't be excited about this happening. Like, I don't want, honestly, personally, I don't want accountability. I want George Floyd to still be living. I would much prefer that than Derek Chauvin in jail, because a life was lost, a father was lost, a friend was lost, and that sucks. That sucks a lot. But we got accountability, and that's great. Um so after uh the news let out that he was held accountable, and while we were rejoicing, um Nancy Pelosi gave a speech. I'm not too sure too much of what the speech said, but I know there was a line in the speech where she said,
Thank you, George Floyd, for sacrificing your life for justice.
it pissed me off because he's not a sacrifice. He didn't choose to die that day. He didn't choose to be like, you know what? I'm going to go and I'm going to die and spark a revolution. That wasn't his choice. He was brutally beaten and killed by a police officer in broad daylight. And the I'm sorry. The police officer, Derek Chauvin, he did it in broad daylight because he could. George Floyd had no part of choice or consent in that. So to call that man a sacrifice, like, what are you doing right now? I don't know if she issued an apology or not, but it's like, you view that as a sacrifice? Like, Jesus Christ choosing to die on the cross for our sins is sacrifice. George Floyd being wrongfully convicted is not a sacrifice. That makes me so mad. I don't even really know where to go with that. I just have to get that off my chest. That really made me mad. But back to accountability. Accountability happened, and that's great. But the fight for racial equality is far from over. There's still systematic racism. There's still blatant racism. There's racism everywhere. And one out of one right out of a million wrongs is not the end of the road. Like, there still needs to be major changes. More cops need to be convicted. I personally think that Breonna Taylor case should be ran back because that was freaking ridiculous. That woman in her own home was killed by the police because the police broke into the wrong house. If I go and I kill someone, I'm going to jail. So why is it that when they go and they kill someone, they're not in jail, they're not imprisoned, nothing like that? That's wrong to me. That's horrible. That's messed up. That's just wrong. And that's why, like, when I saw that they didn't get convicted, I didn't really know too much of what was going to happen with the George Floyd case, because how do you hear that story and say they did nothing wrong? And I hate, like, the excuses that people make up for them doing what they did. Like, oh, well, her boyfriend shouldn't have shot at the cops. Okay, why is it that everybody wants to preach self-defense, but when a black person does self-defense, oh, it's an issue now? Everybody likes to preach owning guns, but when a black person owns a gun, it's an issue? No, that's wrong. That makes no sense. Someone broke into that man's house. They got the wrong person. He didn't know what was going on. And he fired at the cops. And the cops fired back. And they shot and killed Breonna Taylor. And what did they do? They reached a financial compensation, or whatever that is. Like, that was going to be okay. You know why they gave out the compensation? Because they knew they were wrong. There was a wrongful death there. That's cool and all. Accountability still needs to happen. So, the fight for racial equality is long from over. A lot of changes still need to happen in this country. I'm just tired, man. I'm tired of seeing this. And every day is something new. Somebody new is dying. Nobody's being held accountable. Everybody's making up excuses for why so-and-so died and why this happened. And it's just stupid. And then the thing that really, one of the things that made me mad, this is going to be a long episode. I don't even care at this point. Everybody was talking about, like, the fentanyl in George Floyd's system when he died. They're like, oh yeah, the fentanyl is what killed him, blah, blah, blah. You sat there and watched a man knee on another man's neck for 9 minutes straight, and you want to go to the drug problems. You want to say the drugs is what killed him. But the knee on the neck for 9 minutes had nothing to do with the death, right? That's ridiculous. That's utterly ridiculous. It's so insane. Like, I try to keep my composure, but just stuff like that really makes me mad. Like, it's one thing to be, I don't even know what I'm gonna say. Racism is stupid. Racism is stupid. Racism is stupid. People that think racism doesn't exist today are stupid. And it's dumb. And I don't even want to say like Republicans think this, Democrats think that, because my personal belief is there's bad on both sides. There's bad on both sides. A lot of the racists we see nowadays usually identify with the Republican Party, but there's bad on both sides. So you can't even say Republicans are all racist, because I'm pretty sure a lot of them are. But I'm pretty sure a lot of Democrats are racist as well. Nobody on either side is perfect. I personally believe a lot of politicians are just racist. They just do stuff for money, for show. A lot of performative activism. A lot of these companies that say, "Oh yeah, we support Black Lives Matter. Here, we give our associates a Black Lives Matter pin to wear." But what do you do? What do you do to cause change? Nothing. Just a whole bunch of performative activism bullshit. And I'm tired of it. I really am. We gotta do better. My dream is to have a good country where we can all feel safe in. And I feel like every day we just get further and further and further away from that dream. It's just not happening. We argue over the color of our skin. Are you kidding me? Because I'm a darker color than you. There's an issue in that? Does that make sense? You know how childish that sounds? Do you know how childish that sounds right there? Because I'm black and you're white. We have a problem. That's so stupid. It's like, I hate talking about racism because it just makes me so mad. It makes me so mad. Like, I get infuriated every time I think about it because it's just stupid. It's so stupid. It's so stupid. We just gotta do better as a country. So, yeah. I pretty much started this episode just to talk about like the Chauvin case. And I kind of lost track of time. So, yeah. Yeah. This is interesting. I don't have much else to say because it's late at night. I'm just getting angrier by the minute the more I think about it. So I'm just gonna end it here. Moral of the story is don't be a racist piece of shit. Just be kind, because judging someone off of the color of their skin is so childish and so stupid. It's insanely stupid. Yeah. Thanks for coming to the Talks with Ken podcast. Uh, like, comment, subscribe, all that good stuff, whatever. Yeah. Yeah. I'll see you guys back on our regular scheduled Friday programming next week with hopefully a more joyful topic. Uncomfortable conversations are so hard to have because it's like you don't want to have them, but they need to happen. You need to feel uncomfortable so you can feel comfortable. Like when you get in a bed, you don't feel comfortable off rip. You kind of move around until you find that spot. This is kind of what that is. You're in a situation and you don't feel comfortable right now, but you have to fix the problems and sort everything out until we can all be happy. So, have those tough to have conversations. Don't be racist. It feels like such a elementary task to ask, but don't be racist. Be kind. Yeah, just love everyone, be happy, do good things. And until the next episode of the Talks with Ken podcast, you enjoy the rest of your day, night, whenever you're watching, listening to this. And yeah, I'm supposed to do like a plug-in at the end, so like follow the socials, Talks with Ken on Instagram, Talks with Ken on TikTok, Talks with Ken on Twitter, Talks with Ken everywhere. If you like it, like, comment, subscribe, share with your friends, share with people that need to hear this message, even if they're not friends. And yeah. All right. Peace out. Bye, guys.